Today has been a whirlwind. My goodness. I'm kind of just making my own experience because I don't know where these tour people are. I don't know where the groups are meeting. I keep going back to the same spot after I found it and no one's meeting up. So people are just going around. So that's what I'm doing too. Well, this wasn't the review I wanted to make. When I bought a VIP experience for the Formula One Grand Prix in Barcelona, I imagined something unforgettable. The Rising Stars package promised exclusive access, driver meet and greets, gourmet hospitality, and curated moments for passionate, curious fans like me. But what I received was something else entirely. What I got was this: a sprained ankle from walking in circles, being redirected, overlooked, and left to figure it all out alone. I showed up ready, but instead of feeling welcomed, I felt invisible. This isn't about complaining for the sake of it. It's about what access really means, especially in spaces that have historically excluded people like me. You're not just paying for a seat, you're paying to be acknowledged, to be included, to belong. And when the dream becomes a logistical mess, when the VIP lanyard feels like decoration, not invitation, you have to ask, who was this really designed for? So today, I'm telling the truth about what I was promised versus what I got. Let's get into it.
My name is Zoe, and this is the Wanderlustrian Way. My pillars that I want to focus on are automotive, travel, and luxury experiences. So naturally, I felt like attending an F1 race was the right move. An opportunity came up for me to go on a cruise that left from Barcelona. It was a Mediterranean cruise. Then I found out that the F1 Barcelona race occurred the exact weekend before we left for the cruise. I thought, oh my gosh, this is perfectly aligned. And maybe it was. I do think it was because it led me to where I am now. I'm in a whole boot, y'all. A sprained ankle. The hurt ego, dreams crushed. Yeah.
The Rising Stars VIP package was designed to provide a behind-the-scenes look into the feeder series of the prestigious sport of Formula One. For context, F1 is the pinnacle of motorsport, but F2 and F3, that's where the future lives. These are the proving grounds. Many of today's F1 stars, like Charles Leclerc, George Russell, and even Lewis Hamilton, my favorite, started in F2 and F3. So getting access to these spaces isn't just exciting, it's a glimpse at tomorrow's champions. The package included a 3-day F2 and F3 paddock pass, a VIP lunch, a guided track tour, garage tours with driver meet and greets, an exclusive appearance from an F2 or F3 executive. There was also a championship trophy photo op, and an F1 pit lane walk, the kind of access usually reserved for elite insiders. This wasn't supposed to be a casual day at the races. It was marketed as immersive, intentional, personal. As someone passionate about motorsport, storytelling, and curating every experience I invest in, I walked in expecting magic. But what followed was something else entirely.
When I first reached out to F1 Experiences, they match you with a rep. This rep, we kind of went through the comparisons of each package based on my needs. I expressed to him that I was going there to document for the YouTube channel that I was building, to network for my business, and to ultimately get footage and experience in this facet of the automotive world, as this is a direct industry that I am transitioning into. We both decided on this Rising Stars package because it was more immersive and behind the scenes, whereas the other package, where this lounge was more so just networking. In reality, I only got access, so was able to participate in a portion of the things that were offered within the package. The very first day, I was able to do the pit lane walk, the trophy photo, and the track tour. I was given the option, however, that day I had flown in really early I was kind of going on fumes from days of not really sleeping, so prepping so hard. It would have been great, however, something told me, like, yo, you might pass out, sis. You might not want to get on the back of a moving truck when you got a little tinge of motion sickness, you're low on sleep, and it's hot. Know your limits. I knew mine. I decided to opt out, and that's okay. That was my decision. Then we get to the day.
D-Day, if you will. So let's talk about what I actually got. The day before the race was supposed to include a VIP lunch, executive appearances, and driver meet and greets. What I got was less than general admission service. I asked 20 different staff members where to go, and each gave a different answer. In the chaos, I sprained my ankle. When I finally found the lounge, it was underwhelming and unwelcoming. No structure, no care, no Wi-Fi. I followed up after the weekend. Emailed, called, nothing. Ghosted after spending thousands. And this isn't just about poor service, it's about what it means to show up Black, solo, and curious, and still feel like you don't belong. That's why I created what I promised versus what I got, because access without care is just a photo op. I'm not here for that. I'm here to change the narrative. Because I think this brings a bigger conversation and leads to a bigger point of access does not equal equity. You can have the paddock pass, you can have or pay for the package, but it doesn't mean that staff are going to go above and beyond to help you or to ensure that you're having a good time. Then even after the fact, when I reached out and expressed what I was going through, expressed my concerns, everything else, it was all very like finger pointing. You did this, you did the wrong thing, and that's on you. Sure, we'll take the feedback, but this experience you had is your fault. That's not good customer service. And I know a thing or two about customer service after serving tables, bartending, doing all different types of things in the service industry for years. That I know. It's about pleasing people in a service that they pay for. So if someone is unhappy with a service, it's about, okay, what can I do to help make you feel better? None of that was granted to me. It was all just, no, girl, it's all on you. And we will not take any accountability for this. And this is your problem, not ours. Additionally, I got injured in the midst of the chaos. And I did naturally request a partial refund. I had hoped that they would do the right thing and at least try to work with me a little bit, at least try to acknowledge the experience that I had, and I don't know, try to help in some kind of way, but that's not what I received. Let's talk about navigating luxury spaces, and in this case, an F1 race in a foreign country as a Black woman. Traveling as a group and moving as a group is different than moving as an individual. It's easier to navigate spaces, in my opinion, because your experience no one can say that it's just in your head. You have someone there to justify and to acknowledge what you're going through as well and witness it. But traveling solo, your experience is your experience, and it's kind of your word against other people's, which it's really upsetting to think about it in that way, but sometimes you have to, especially in my experience as a Black woman, because there's a lot of instances where people are kind of coming at you and you're gaslit into thinking you're asking for too much, or you're doing too much, or you did everything wrong, when simply you were just a woman that paid her money just like everyone else. You wanted to have a good experience. You got a little lost because you were dropped off on an opposite end and you asked for help and no one was helping you. And therefore, it's your fault. It's your error for not getting the support that you should have gotten, especially as a VIP guest. It makes it that much deeper. And that's why I wanted to start this series of what I was offered versus what I got, because I think it's important to have these conversations around equity in all different spaces. But for me, the ones that I tend to frequent are automotive, travel, and luxury. The automotive space is one that is mostly skewed towards white men, and then also luxury as well, or more white people. But of course, you have people of all different ethnicities and nationalities in between. I do want to discuss the nuances of the event and what might have contributed to my particular experience. Obviously, I am a Black woman, and I'm moving around solo. So I think if I was with a group, I might have gotten a little bit more support, or I would have had the support of the people in the group with me. So therefore, I probably would have been able to navigate a little bit better. As a woman in an automotive space for a world that is more white male dominated, yeah, I think that men would probably get more support and more help in these areas. And then as a Black woman, that just adds on top of it. Unfortunately, it is my reality. This is the lens that I see the world through for my identity and my experiences. And this is what I encounter. I don't know, someone like me where I'm going to attend these things anyways. So I'm going to go and find myself in those spaces no matter what, because I refuse to allow the lack of the equity to keep me from at least trying to experience it, because not every time I'm having a bad experience, and not to say that this experience was, I don't like to look at things as it's all bad. There are nuggets of good that I could take from it. However, it wasn't the best. It could have been so much better. And I think a part of it was because of my identity, but I think that also there might be some cultural things mixed in. I'm an American. I do believe that right now the relations with the US and a lot of countries in the world is a bit tricky because of who is in office. So a lot of people don't really want Americans around right now. That also could have very much so added to my experience. My final thoughts. Was it worth it? I think it was worth the experience. It was worth finding out what happens when you go to a prestigious luxury event such as F1 as a Black woman by yourself in a foreign country. Those are the type of experiences that I live for. I am cool with immersing myself in something and going by myself. That's just what I do. That's my personality. And I think that that is a part of the Wanderlustrian Way. That's how my channel came about, and that's how my brand came about, because I am someone that I don't allow my fears of not being accepted or included or not knowing where to go or whatever it is. I don't allow those fears to override my passion or my interest and my curiosity. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to ask the questions, and then I won't take no for an answer. And this is where this episode is coming from, because I refuse to just accept that this is the standard for a VIP package. Lewis Hamilton did some work to address discrepancies within the F1 space with race and race relations. And that's exactly why he did that work, because of experiences like mine and because of experiences like his. That's also why I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan, because I can identify with him in a lot of ways. And I feel like he's someone that I can get behind and what he stands for and the action that he takes and how he carries himself. How could you not respect someone like that? And so the work that he's been doing within the F1 space, I want to continue that work as well. And not just within motorsport, the entire automotive world. Because I think that it's imperative that people like me, women that look like me, feel safe enough to go and experience these things, no matter what anyone tells them, no matter if the space was built for other people or not. We're still going to show up and still enjoy ourselves because it's our right. It's our God-given right to enjoy life and the things that come with it. And I will continue to immerse myself in these spaces. And I won't let a sprained leg or sprained ankle or bad service from one experience stop me. No, it only gives me more drive to keep going. Because y'all are going to keep seeing people like me. And if you keep seeing people like me, then better treatment eventually will come because I'm going to challenge it. That's just who I am. And I'm okay with taking that on. We've come to the end of this lengthy, emotional roller coaster of a video. I thank you for being here, and thank you for being here for the first episode in my series of what I was offered versus what I got. So if you liked the episode, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And please, in the comments, let's chat about your experiences in these spaces and what equity means to you. And if you feel like access equals equity, or does it not? So it's a great day to, I don't know, get out of your comfort zone, because the world is your oyster. And today's the day to get out there. Thank you for being here with me. Until next time.